Hello, 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 hello. I hope you guys can see me on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the Shio Facebook and the Shio website. My name is Tope Fajingbesi, and it's my pleasure to be back with you today to bring another village meeting to your screen and to your attention. Today is going to be really, really exciting. We're going to be inspired and we are going to learn a lot as well, as always. Of course, we're going to learn about African heritage. We're going to test all of your knowledge, your African IQ. We'll see, how much you know about Africa. And of course, our guests. I have three fantastic guests today. They're going to teach us some things about how they're impacting Africa, and they're also going to, test. We're also going to test their own Africa IQ as well. There are also tickets to be won. If you wait until the end of the show, you will get a chance to win two fabulous free tickets. So before I start and before I bring on my guests, who I have the pleasure of hosting today, I want to say that many of you know that we were in Senegal last week, and that was a very, very, very interesting trip. It was really eye-opening and life-changing. I have been to the castle in Ghana, and I've been to Badagry, and I've also been to South Carolina. But just going to the Gori Island, the Senegalese part, honestly, it did something to my mind. It was just, yet another reminder of this inequality that didn't start today, of some of the stealing of Africa's most precious resources, our human resources, which they didn't start today. And, the question that I left Senegal with is, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? And one of the things that we're going to do about it is to really start to educate ourselves. Who are we as people? Who are we? Because what I'm realizing, especially for us Africans in diaspora, is that we don't even know who we are. We don't know our heritage. We're just, chanting all kinds of things around the whole place, just doing all kinds of, following the bandwagon. But we don't even know how mighty the shoulders that many of us stand on. We don't even know how mighty those shoulders are. This is one of the reasons why we do the Africa 101 on this show, because you cannot impact and you cannot love a continent that you didn't you don't even know. You can't make any impact on that continent if you don't even know where the continent is or what the continent is about or what the history is. So I think it's very important. And when I came back from Senegal, I then today actually, a few years ago, I was at the National Museum of African American History in Washington, D.C. And I had, planned to be there for a long time. I wanted to see all the three floors and all the exhibitions going on. But after one floor, I just stopped and I said, I cannot take too much of this. I kept thinking about Senegal, I kept thinking about Ghana, I kept thinking about Nigeria, all of these places. And then to just see all of those things all in one space was a little too much for me. So after the ground floor, I said, I'm just going to go line up for tickets and come back again and see another floor. But I think that educating ourselves about our history, about our heritage, about some of the struggles is very critical. For somebody like me who is in agriculture, one of the interesting things to see both on the Senegalese side last week and on the US side this week is the impact of my ancestors on the ag sector in years past, but also some of the systemic issues that those people face. Obviously, we're being paid for our labor now, but some of the labor that some of our ancestors, really weren't paid for, is what funded the lands that a lot of people now hold now. And now, when you're farming in America, the biggest challenge you have is access to land. But it was my forefathers, your forefathers, our ancestors, who worked and tilled those lands and made those fortunes for those who today now own the land and refuse to share it. So I think it's very important that we continue to get our education right and we continue to remove the barriers that exist between us and some of our brothers and sisters, whether US born Africans or Caribbean born Africans or Africans born in Africa, we need to, get educated about one another, and we need to remove those barriers. We need to start seeing ourselves as one and the same people. So before I bring on my guest to camera, I just want to say, first of all, that, hey, did you people see how Nigerian girls slayed at the World Athletics in Oregon? Man, I was like all over the place with joy. My niece and my nephew, they probably have watched Toby Emotions race and interviews and all of these things. They said they've watched it 5 billion times. I think they're exaggerating, but clearly they've watched it something close to half of that number. But I wanted them to see, to understand, what it means for somebody to set a goal, to work towards that goal, for that goal to look unachievable, unattainable at the beginning, but eventually really be attainable. So, whether you're Nigerian or not, I think this is all our collective pride. And all of us own this pride. We own this joy. And we should definitely celebrate it and let our kids know, who we are. Shout out to Isse Brume as well. And shout out to Thames, because, I'm sure you guys have seen the trailer for Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther sequel. And you see that it opens with Thames, a young Nigerian artist who won the Best International Act at the BET Awards this summer. She also sang in that, and that just made me super proud. Azizat Oshola also won the CAF female footballer of the year. So these, in spite of all of the challenges that our leaders would never let us get rid of, these women are making us proud. These CEOs are making us proud, and that just makes me so happy. So again, one last announcement before I bring on my guest. CEO Houston, you see my screen. October 22nd, we're going to light it up in Houston. And because people have been telling me, oh my goodness, okay, what if I'm not in the US? I cannot come to Houston. What am I going to do? This is going to be a week-long activity, week-long, no kidding. We're going to start with virtual brunch events, which are going to be fantastic. We're going to have 4 days of virtual brunch events, starting with the working woman. We want to talk about our lives at work. What are some of those difficult conversations that we need to have about our lives at work, especially for us Africans in diaspora? We're going to talk about wealthy women. So we're going to talk about money. You know me, I'm an Ijebu and I'm an accountant. There's no CEO without money talks. So we're going to have a couple of guests talk to us about, the mistakes they've made when it comes to finances and how we can do better, especially for us immigrants again, because many of us would not build wealth here. We would have one leg in Africa, one leg here, and not really maximize any of that, any of the potentials that we have, and end up making, nothing in those two places. So we want to talk about those potentials to maximize our wealth and to increase our standing, our rankings when it comes to, the wealthiest demographic. We're going to have a segment called We Men on Board. If you've been to a CEO, that segment used to be called Men on Board. But now, because I want some sort of W to be there, it's going to be called We Men on Board. Of course, we're going to bring men who are going to talk about, some very difficult gender-related topics. And then before we go to the live event on Saturday, we would have a segment called Whole Woman. In that segment called Whole Woman, I'll bring in some therapists for us to talk about how to push past pain. And one of the plans that we have is to bring in therapists from all over the diaspora and the continent, and really put us in small breakout rooms where we can really have intimate, difficult discussions about mental health issues, particularly about suicide and depression. This is going to be really exciting. And of course, when we meet in Houston on Saturday, October 22nd, we're going to take it all home with about 7 segments, including, food. But we're going to unmask a lot of pain and unveil a lot of strength. So you guys watch out in your inboxes. You will soon get an invitation to register for CEO Houston, Texas. So that is all the announcements I have. If you have any concerns, any comments, please put it in the chat box. I'll try to answer as we're going along. I'm going to add my guests to the stream right now and add to stream. And let's see. Okay. I don't think you see Ishmael photo. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So you guys can see three fabulous people on the screen. And I don't know why I'm getting an echo now. Lord, and it's problems of life. Let's see. Oh God. Can you guys hear an echo?
Yeah. But not anymore.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let us begin with an introduction. And what I'm going to do. Okay, let me see. I do not know why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves, and you tell us your name, which part of the continent you call home, and what part of the world is your current home, and a little bit about what you do, how you impact Africa. And we'll start with you, Pamela.
Thank you very much for having me. As you've heard, my name is Pamela Gakii Riungu. I am from Nairobi, Kenya, currently living in Southern California. My company is PGR Marketing, and I usually work with B2B professional services to help them become profitable. And part of that, I'm working with our investment bank private equity company that's looking to enter the Africa market. This is for investment purposes. We're looking at Series B and over type companies that are looking to grow in the sectors of healthcare, financial services, energy, technology, infrastructure, agriculture and food security, water, sanitation, hygiene, and real estate. And that's a great way for companies in our continent to be able to get the funding they need to grow, to hire more people, and that helps grow our economy, and that helps us all. Thank you.
Thank you. So before I go to the next person, I want to ask you, how did you get into this? Why did you choose this? Because I see you playing very well in two different worlds. There is the marketing side, and then there is the impact in Africa side. And we all know, whether you're from Kenya or Ghana or Nigeria, impact in Africa can be some sort of hard nut to crack. How did you get here? Why? And why are you in that space?
That's a great question. After working for a long time here in the US, making companies profitable, it just left me feeling really empty and I wasn't fulfilled. And so one day I decided, what I know there are companies that are looking to invest in Africa. How do I get in touch with those people to help them navigate? And so that's what I did. I network a lot. I started asking questions. I stated what my need was and what that looks like. And sure enough, I was introduced to this firm where I'm now a partner. And focusing on Africa has been very fulfilling because now I give a chance to give back, but not in terms of with aid, but offering opportunities for people to actually earn a living. As you know, we are very well educated. We just lack opportunities. And so I'm excited to see how companies will be able to take advantage of this funding to be able to hire more people, expand, grow, so that people can get fed and we don't have to read the stories we read every day on the news of them running away, dying in the ocean in boats. Hopefully that will be able to help that people can stay in the continent, because we come from a beautiful continent. There's nothing as well as being home, as you know, Tope. It's just a different energy. The hustle in other countries, yes, you do make the money, but it's a very unfulfilling type of hustle. And so that was my goal, to be able to give back to my people.
Thank you so much. And honestly, that is, the money, we have to follow the money.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to be the ones others are following. And where the investments go, people go. Yeah. And it was funny that you talked about we don't have to run away in boats. I actually wrote a poem which I posted on social media last week when I was in Senegal, because I realized that during the slave trade, during the transatlantic slave trade, the slave masters will go capture men who were who weighed between 90 and 120 kilograms. So those were their kind of people that they would capture. And then they would put them in this room, 40 of them in a room, 8x5, line them up and put them in chains for 3 months. And in these 3 months, the white merchants will be upstairs while these slaves are downstairs groaning, crying, doing stuff. But they're upstairs praying, okay? They're praying. So while they put them there for 3 months, after 3 months, if you still weigh above 60 kg, that means you are good merchandise. Then those are the ones who actually make it to that point of no return and get on the boats. But those who don't weigh, who have lost, people who have lost maybe half of their body weight or something like that because of all the torture, they are discarded, hurt, killed. They're not good merchandise because nobody's going to buy them when they get here. So now, as I was internalizing that in Gorée Island last week, I then thought, but is that not what is happening now? People like us have gone to the embassy, however many years ago, the best of the best. Now, no longer physical strength is now, mental strength. Those who they think are good enough to make their economy better, they give them visas and bring us here. Those who they think, oh, no, this one is not good enough, they let them stay. So whether it's 1412 or 2022, it's the same BS. And we need to find a way to begin to channel some of these resources that we've gained here and channel them back to Nigeria, and Africa. So thank you so much for leading that charge. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the terminology is called the Africa brain drain.
It is unbelievable. So I'm going to go to the only man in our midst. Ishmael, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. Tell us where you call home now and before, and what do you do to impact Africa?
Yeah, my name is Ishmael. I'm originally from Ghana. I am mostly in the DMV, specifically in DC now. I do the Jollof Festival in a few cities around the country.
First of all, so let me just say that you guys, you see me posting about this Jollof Festival guy because he's about like, this Ghanaian. I don't know that Jollof is the real Jollof. There's only one Jollof. That's the Nigerian Jollof.
Oh my God! Here we go.
They will be saying Senegalese Jollof. But we get to settle this once and for all in DC this weekend.
Yeah.
Once and for all.
Once and for all this weekend.
Part where Nigeria puts full stop to all the arguments. So those of you who are watching and you're DMV area in the East Coast, you need to show up for Nigeria this Saturday. How can people get tickets to the Jollof Festival? Because I want them to start registering now.
Yeah, please go to jolloffestival.com. The tickets are there. Grab a ticket. Please come through. Well, if you're coming from this platform, get a tasting ticket because that's how you get to actually try every country's jollof. And then you can vote for the best one. It's a blind tasting. So there might be more Nigerians there than other people, but it doesn't matter because, people will vote for the best one anyway. So
can you remind us the last Jollof Festival? Where was that again? Where was that?
The last one was in Oakland.
And who won again?
And the top representatives of Ghana, I couldn't find them. But the one I found, so Nigeria won that one because, Ghana, we couldn't find our best. We couldn't find our best competitor for that one. But it's good. We won the one before in LA. Ghana won in LA. Nigeria won in Oakland. So we'll see what happens in DC. We have about 7 more to go. It's just getting started.
No, there's only one Jollof. After I've been following Jollof Festival for a while, it's one of the most interesting pages to follow on Instagram. And everybody be talking about Senegalese Jollof. I'm like, hey, Senegal is only the language, it's not the food. I spent 2 weeks in Senegal. I didn't see Jollof.
You didn't see Jollof?
I did not see Jollof.
Wow.
The only thing they call Jollof is a restaurant chain, it's a fast food chain. One chicken is when I say jollof. That's it. So the
Oh,
rice is not
wow.
please.
Wow. Wow. But you know, Senegalese also have like they have like 3 different kinds of jollof. So you probably saw the other ones. You didn't think because they have this one that looks like a brown rice. It's their veggie jollof one. It's much darker in color. So maybe you saw that and you confused that. But let me tell you,
Yes,
let
tell
me
me.
tell you, this Saturday, the
Yes.
guys representing Senegal, I'm very scared for Nigeria because they just opened in Silver Spring. Someone took me there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. They are going to be a problem.
Please,
Also,
please, let me
if you,
rest. Who's
if
representing
you,
Nigeria?
if Kingsway Restaurant is representing Nigeria. They won the first one.
End
They
of
won the
story.
first one. Okay.
Please
I
wait.
have to come back next week so we can reflect on how it went on Saturday. I'm gonna keep the comments minimum so others can talk. But I think I think it will be better to reflect on the results than
It's Kingsway that is coming. Kingsway in Laurel on Route 1. Forget.
Yeah.
If you even want Amala Sef, they can even add.
Oh
but
yeah.
We'll be modest. We'll be modest. We'll just bring
Yeah. So the vendors are also coming. They are going to bring, the goosey, the wache, the kilo, everything. Each country will be bringing other dishes. So you sample the rice, you vote, but then you can also go to the vendors and support them and buy food and hang out. It's a family-friendly event all day, just engaging in community and culture. And I think jollof rice is wonderful because it's become an amazing icebreaker. Like a lot of us just never used to talk to other people from other countries.
Yes.
And jollof has become the gateway, which really is the reason why I find this it's sort of like a sociological experience in a way, very fascinating. In a lot of the cities, DJs are working together for the first time because they just never had any reason to, play each other's parties or, promoters and whatnot. So there's as funny as it is, jollof is really, which makes sense. We always come together around food. So it's beautiful to see food bringing us together and serving as that icebreaker. So I'm really excited.
I'm loving it. I'm also loving, one of my colleagues in the university brought me the Washington Post one day.
Yeah.
And said, look at this Washington Post. Washington Post actually wrote about the Jollof War.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. That's where we are. Yesterday, the winner from 2019, which was Sierra Leone, it was Sierra Leone. They were on Good Morning Washington talking about the Jollof Festival for this weekend. I tell people I went to Columbia University undergrad. I spent a year at the Harvard Innovation Lab. I never had an article written about me. Then we did Jollof Festival. The BBC called me to write an article. So you can you can tell where the priorities are, right?
Yes.
Jollof. There's more interest in Jollof than an African kid who goes to Ivy Leagues. So here we are.
No, you could be the biggest genius ever.
No.
Bring Jollof.
Yeah. Jollof
This is awesome. And that honestly is a fantastic segue to my friend Ghaneeyyah, who is going to introduce herself. And I also want to tell you that Ghaneeyyah makes one of the bestest jollof ever. But let her introduce our other work.
Okay.
Are you there? Oh my goodness, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh no, we can't hear. Let's see. Why can't your volume is up, but we cannot hear you. Yeah. And I wanted us to brag about this jollof, because I'm even seeing in the while we're waiting for her to.
That's the universe saying, chill.
No.
Senegal is about to cause an upset. That's the universe.
No, I am seeing Nigeria Jollof to the world from YouTube. I'm also seeing Yes, free tasting tickets for now food today. Go Nigerian. Nigerian jollof is the jollof. Is the only jollof. I don't know.
This Nigerian jollof that these Super Eagles were eating and the Black Stars beat them to qualify for the World Cup. Is it the same jollof we are talking about? Is it the same jollof?
Hey, help me understand how many medals the Ghanaians won. Just remind me, how many medals did Ghana win in the World Athletics again? How many?
Until we are talking about the World Cup, I don't even know which World Athletic you are talking about now.
Ghaneeyyah is back.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now.
I just noticed I couldn't hear anything earlier. So I was listening on the Facebook Live, and then when I was out talking, I realized I couldn't even hear myself. Sorry about that. So I had to leave the studio and then enter again. Good evening, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon from whichever part of the world you are listening in from. My name is Ghaneeyyah Sulaiman-Olokodana, and I'm speaking from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. I'm based in Nigeria, proudly Nigerian, especially with all the accolades we've been getting recently. It's been such a wonderful feeling, something positive about us. Even I choose not to look at all the negativity. So I've been tackling people on so many social media platforms. People that only ever think about the negative things, So that's it. I'm sorry, Mr. Jollof.
No worries at all. No worries at all.
When I saw you, I was like, hey, Jollof. And I was busy beefing that how I wish my Jollof could find its way to that festival.
Yeah.
I was so happy when Tope said that. Yes, I without being immodest, I can proudly say that I make one of the best.
Okay, Auntie. we are going to give you an opportunity to prove yourself. We'll be in Lagos in November. November we are in Lagos, so we will. Yeah, and we'll let the people know how it goes.
I actually also run a food and beverage business, so my jollof has become signature. But tonight, wow. I'm not here from that perspective. I'm here from my other calling, so to say. I'm a trained clinical psychologist. I'm a mental health advocate, a family life therapist. So that's what I've also been doing in the past about 20 years now. Working as a relationship counselor, therapist, and all that. And it's been wonderful. Getting into the food business was actually because when I started out in those days, you know how it is. Nobody wanted to speak to a shrink. Nobody wanted to pay a shrink. In fact, people will be like, no, I don't need counseling. I don't, no. Are you saying I'm mad and all that? So shrinking became a passion because I couldn't charge for it. And then my passion, which was cooking and making healthy drinks, became a business that I needed to do to sustain myself. So over the years, I found out I've been doing both. I've been running both businesses like literally full time. And I'm so happy now that the awareness, the mental health awareness is a lot better now. So people are actually, making inquiries. They are seeking counseling. They are, seeking mental health advice and all that. So, I mean, it's been worth it. I mean, after almost about 20 years. So it's something I really, really love doing. And some people say, are you sure you are in business? Because I've been doing it for free for so long. I sometimes forget that this is meant to be a private practice that I'm running, but it's something that gives me so much joy. So I'm so happy to do it, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And I have to say that when I think about Ghaneeyyah, wait, why is there an echo here? Listen, this is fine. Let's see. Can you hear me? Okay, no echo. All right. So, Ghaneeyyah, if you have another stream going, you might want to mute that one. Let me try. Okay. Yeah. If you have on that stream, or Facebook?
Okay. Okay, I'm out of it.
Okay, all right. Let's see if it will. Okay, I don't. We'll keep trying. When you need to talk, we'll unmute, and we'll see. So now I see these three. I didn't think about this when we're talking about the guests for today, but I just realized that there is the mental side, there is the money side, and there is the cultural side. And so I'm just very happy about this whole lineup because we're addressing everything, which makes me very happy about the line of questioning that I'm about to put you guys through. Because now we're about to start the real competition. And Pamela, I'm going to start from you. Yes. The first 6 questions, which is 2 apiece, will be about geography. If I were you, I would have some people who can cheat for me by texting me, because you have 30 seconds to answer the question. And my assistant, my able assistant, Adirunke, is behind the scenes and she'll be keeping scores. So the only thing you win is bragging rights. It's not like Ishmael's thing that you win, Jollof crown. This one is just bragging rights. So I'm going to start from you. The first question is, the largest city in Africa by land mass is which one? A, Algiers. B, Cairo. C, Lagos.
By landmass or by people?
By landmass.
A.
No. Okay, the largest area by landmass is Cairo. Actually, landmass is Cairo. Okay, but it's okay. That they're all going to miss their questions anyway. So Ishmael is next.
I didn't know that either. But yes, please go ahead.
Which is the second? And Shakirat, our prof, is here with the answers. But you can't see. You probably cannot see, maybe. Which is the second highest mountain in Africa, Ishmael? Is it A, Mount Kilimanjaro? Is it B, Mount Zuma? Is it C, Mount Kenya?
Oh, is it Mount Kenya?
That is correct.
Aha. Thank you. Pamela was smiling a little bit, so that gives me the clue.
Oh my God.
Yes. So that was a helpful cue.
Oh my God. So you need to give a straight face. You need to give a straight face. Okay.
No. That was helpful. Keep it coming, please.
No. Okay. Which of the following, Ghaneeyyah, which of the following is not one of South Africa's three capital cities? A, Johannesburg. B, Pretoria. C, Bloemfontein.
Blue what?
Bloemfontein.
Let me just choose that one. Do you know this was the part I dreaded the most? I told my husband, I said, I'm going to disgrace the family. I know Johannesburg is a capital. I know Pretoria.
It's not. Johannesburg is the one that is not a capital.
Hey, wait. Are you serious? I have disgraced my ancestors. You know, when you assume things, I don't believe it.
You know, I actually thought Johannesburg was a capital as well.
Honestly, Johannesburg is not a capital?
No.
My children must not hear this.
Oh Lord.
And I was like, this is such a simple one.
No.
Okay, at least I will never forget now.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to you, Pamela.
Go easy on me.
I'll try. Malawi's independent. No, I'm sorry. That's not your question. Your question is, what is the capital of Botswana? Is it A, Gaborone? Is it B, Lilongwe? Is it C, Harare?
A.
A is correct. Yay! We should have an applause sound. You know? And all the people that are in the audience, you are not even helping them at all. The only person that is helping with answers is Shakirat. Why? There are 20 other people on this stream and you're not helping. Why? Okay. All right. So let's go Pamela, go. Yeah. But I want people to be supplying them the answers. Okay, all right. Ishmael, this is yours. Malawi's Independence Day is celebrated on the 6th of July. Which country did Malawi get independence from in 1964? Is it A, the United States of America? Is it B, United Kingdom? Is it C, France?
Malawi. Oh, that's a good one. Let me see what people are saying in the comments. I have 30 seconds. We have time. Guys, let's go. Let's go.
No, they're not telling you.
Malawi. Malawi.
Because
I'll say France. I'll say France.
That is wrong. That is wrong. They got their independence from the colonial master United Kingdom.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Malawi in anything, when you talk about like even just the Commonwealth. So, okay. All right. This is good to know.
Yes. The last question on geography. Which is the second longest river in Africa? A, River Nile. B, River Congo. C, Orange.
I'm supposed to answer that.
Yes.
Yeah, give me the Nile,
Congo,
Niger, and Congo.
And Orange.
That song we used to sing. Oh, Nile, Niger. Is it by length? I think it's River Niger.
Niger is not even part of the option.
Oh, Nile, Congo, and Orange.
Yes.
Congo.
Yes. River Congo is the answer. That is correct.
I got one.
Yes. And people have helped you in the comment section.
I can't even see the comment section. No.
So the longest.
Why am I not seeing you?
Yes, the second longest is River Congo. That is correct. Now we're going to go to issue. And I'm going to say now. Who was Zambia's first president? Is it A, Reuben Kamanga? B, Kenneth Kaunda? C, Charles Robert?
B.
Kenneth Kaunda?
B.
No, Pamela is so clear.
Kenneth Kaunda?
Kenneth Kaunda is correct.
That was B?
That name, I've been hearing it since I was born.
Yeah.
So you what did you give her the answer, Pamela?
Oh.
That was the answer. Okay,
Yes.
I didn't even hear. But when I heard Kenneth Kaunda, I knew that name was familiar. I heard it from my childhood.
Okay. So I'm going to go to my brother, who thinks that Ghana people make any kind of jollof. But what can I tell you? From which European country did Angola gain its independence in 1975? From which European country?
Portugal.
Okay, now you're showing off.
Oh no! Sorry. Announce the options. Sorry.
Now he's just showing off.
My bad.
Angola has any jollof? No.
Sorry, give me the options. My bad.
Correct. You are correct. You're correct. And that answer, I only knew it because Angola is the only country that seems to speak Portuguese. Them and I think Mozambique or some place like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So we know where to go when we're looking for our money. All right.
Yeah.
So, Pamela, my friend from the West Coast. The West African trading kingdoms were known for trading what? A, dates. B, rubber. C, salt.
B. Oh.
No. The
Salt.
West African trading kingdoms were known for trading salt.
I didn't study West African history well.
Yes, we were known and still known for trading salt. As a matter of fact, when I was in on the Pink Lake, we went to the Lac Rose.
Yeah.
Some of the salt that they were actually getting out of the river, we're asking them where that salt is going. They said it's going to Europe, not for consumption, but for snow. When they're trying to put snow on the road for during the winter.
To melt the snow off, yeah.
So even now, the West African countries are still dealing in salt commercially.
Mm.
So, now I know.
All right. So I'm going to do the last set of history questions, starting from you now again, Pamela. I'm going to start from you as well. And I'm going to make my way back to Ghaneeyyah. The name of the movement across the world to support African countries' independence was what? A, the nationalist movement. B, imperialism. C, Pan-African movement. Those guys, those brothers, Nkrumah, Azikiwe, all of those guys who were in London fighting. C was
Pan-African.
That is correct. That is correct. Yay. That is correct. You are so right.
Of all of them, that's the only one I wanted to get right.
That is correct. So I'm going to go to you next, my brother, Ishmael. The African leader who fought for independence for 14 years against the French was who? A, Kofi Annan. B, Samori Toure. C, Nelson Mandela.
Samori Toure.
How do you know that?
Oh, I had to eliminate. Mandela is South African, Kofi Annan is Ghanaian.
I was like,
I didn't know who. Yeah, I didn't know how long he had been fighting for. I have heard of Toure, but I didn't know how long. If there were other French names, it would have definitely been complicated for me. Yeah.
Exactly. I was the only one with a French-sounding name.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. The last history question goes to my friend Ghaneeyyah. In what city is the Chinese-built headquarters of the African Union? In what city is the Chinese-built headquarters of the African Union? Is it in the city of Lagos? Is it in the city of Johannesburg? Is it in the city of Addis Ababa?
Addis Ababa.
That is correct. How did you know that?
Elimination.
Because you certainly know it's not in Lagos because you live in Lagos.
Yes, I know it's not in Lagos, and I didn't think it was in South Africa.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Before I go to arts and culture and women, I just want to give you guys a chance to tell us what you have coming up next, and what should we look forward to from you guys. So I'm going to start with you, Pamela. What do you have coming up next that we can key into?
Oops, great questions. I formed a group for immigrants and foreigners, business professionals, because I feel like we don't really fit in kind of the genres in America. And we meet the third Friday of each month, and we usually have what I call kitchen table talk, like tackling issues that we go through that we don't talk about. So like this month, we were talking about sense of belonging and identity and the whole idea of being diaspora and where do we find home. And we all had the same thing that we can't call America home or a home country. We're in between. Wherever we are is home. And next month, I'm having a LinkedIn expert come and tell us how we can market ourselves better, how we can get ourselves out there. And so it's a combination of getting skill sets and expertise, and as well as having those conversations that we would not have in a general setting. And one of the things that came up was that we need to talk about prejudice, because we, as business owners, we find out we show up and give proposals, presentations, and then they don't give us a job. And it's not because we're not qualified, it's because they cannot trust someone who's a foreigner. And so that's going to be one of the topics that we'll tackle. So we can have that, common experience, but being able to collectively talk about it, I think helps this process better. And we show up more stronger when you go out networking. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I'm also working with several referral partners in French West Africa, Southern Africa, East Africa, getting me deals of companies that I need of funding. So that's always ongoing, and I'm excited to see how that goes.
Fantastic. So I was in your meeting, the last one, which I thought was really, really good. And I thought one of the things I liked about it was that it wasn't just African immigrants.
Yes.
I was surprised to see people of Indian descent, people of Italian descent who were talking about the same things that we experience. And at first I was like, no, please God, what do you know? Your skin color is different. But then I realized that all they need to do is to open their mouth.
Yeah.
And people would say, oh, where are you from? And that just puts a break in every conversation that they're having trying to move forward. So if somebody is a professional, they want to join you at the next meeting, because I think that LinkedIn whole optimization of LinkedIn experience is very good. Can you tell us where they can find you?
You can send me an email. That's the best way.
All right. So I would ask, can I ask Aderonke to put your email address in the chat?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Aderonke, please put Pamela's email in the chat box. And one thing else that, as you were talking about, finding our feet and not getting opportunities, this is so prevalent and it can be very demoralizing.
Yeah.
You knock on doors and you know that you're qualified to get in that space and you don't get in that space. So I think finding some sort of allyship and ways to improve our existence and our, thriving here is critically important. So thank you very much for tackling that. Ishmael, tell us what you have coming up.
Actually, before I answer that, Pamela, if I knew you before I was on the West Coast, I would have loved to have collaborated with your organization, because one of the things we are trying to do, Jollof is the icebreaker, but the idea is that as we come together, we get to learn from each other and figure out how we can work together, what opportunities exist. So for me, it's really to be able to dig deeper. There are a lot of people, we're talking about the brain drain, but there's also the reverse brain drain that is happening.
Yes.
Where a lot of people that I came to college with, that whole generation, a lot of them are moving back home now because of, opportunities that exist. They understand that it's not the same as it is here, but they figured if Africa is, the next wave, we might as well go and start laying the foundation so that, sort of like you are doing, they can be positioned to take advantage of some of the opportunities and the investments and resources that come in. And so we want people to know who to have these kinds of conversations with, So we are, next year, we are going to prioritize pre-festival panels, the Thursday, the Friday night, where we, because we get a lot of traffic coming to the website, especially the week of the festival. So people know that, okay, there are these conversations that are happening. And I think we should have a shield, panel. We should have, conversations around trade, just so that people can be able to take advantage of some of those opportunities. So essentially the festival is in 8 US cities this year and then 2 African cities. Our next city obviously is DC this weekend. Then after that, we go to Chicago. So we have Chicago coming up. We have Raleigh, North Carolina coming up. Then we go to Atlanta. Then we go to Houston. And then we go to Minneapolis and Boston. So those are the next things. I literally live and breathe Jollof Wars. Literally, this is my entire summer is taken away by this. I have a marketing agency, but I don't take on clients during the festival season because I like to be involved with everything going on with clients, and I'm not able to focus on anything else once it starts. So, the next thing is still Jollof all the way.
You know what? This is, I cannot be mad at food. I cannot be mad at Jollof, especially because they're taking the Jollof Festival to Lagos at the time Lagos starts to bubble. Like, yes. If you've ever been to Lagos, you think in America, Thanksgiving, people start to shut down and they're not, no, let me tell you. The place where things start to happen is Lagos in November.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people, it becomes a whole huge street party.
Yeah. Like, that's why we chose that timing, because we basically consulted with our partners, and we wanted to avoid the December Ghana, Accra, Lagos, so, and people said, no, November is when it starts.
November.
Yeah. So.
There's the Ake Book Festival in November. There's, like people start to come home, and then people in the diaspora start to come home from the Thanksgiving holiday time. This shut down and activity really starts to pick up. I think you have chosen, a good time for the fourth quarter of the year, and you've done well to avoid December, because December.
That's
you want to be in Lagos in December, not as an organizer, but as a consumer of culture.
Right. So, thanks for that feedback. Yeah,
I think that's good. Atlanta, yes, somebody's happy that Jollof Festival has come to Atlanta. And you see Nigeria will win there, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, these people. But, I think it's such a good idea that we're seeing how we can all collaborate in terms of bringing food and conversations and adjustments and, thriving as immigrants. I think that is just fantastic, really lovely. So I would let my sister Ghaneeyyah tell us, what are you working on? What's coming up?
Currently, what I'm trying to do now, with COVID and all that, my mental health advocacy really became something. I mean, I remember the early days. I mean, my days were always packed. And if I tell you that since 2020, most of the things I've been doing has been virtual. In fact, while we've been on this, I've been seeing some messages on my phone. I'm supposed to start counseling for a couple and all that. So I just saw their message come on. I realized that a lot of people are actually stressed out. When I started out, I chose to focus on relationships, because I was doing a bit of matchmaking in my volunteer work as a faith leader, and I realized that people they would just want, they wanted someone to push their relationship dreams too, so people would come to meet me and say, oh, Sister Ghaneeyyah, I want to get married in XY months. And then when you ask them certain questions, what kind of person do you want, blah blah blah, many of them don't think beyond that. They just have that goal, I want to get married, and so some people, whether I supported it or not, they would actually find somebody, get married too, and then months or a few years down the line, the whole relationship would go down the drain. So I realized, okay, this isn't really going to work. And thankfully, I was able to develop like a program that I used to take singles through. These were the days before social media and all that. This was like the early 2000s. And I realized that, okay, actually taking singles through this program made them better matchmakers. They could go ahead and meet somebody. They knew what to look out for. So it took that job off of me, I didn't need to be the matchmaker anymore. And so it's something I've always run. And now that, with social media and all that, I decided to go virtual with it so that more people can access it. It used to be like a physical class, 8 sessions and all that. But I'm trying to make it online, have people come together virtually, because the same purpose. I mean, with technology and all that, I see that a lot can be achieved. So I'm trying to come back with the group coaching thing, and hopefully once I've finalized, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm always tweaking things every now and then, but I want to really conclude on it and then get it out there with the details.
So I want to say that I may say that perfection is the enemy of progress. Perfection is the enemy of progress. I say that to myself all the time, because I don't think I'm a perfectionist. I think I'm a procrastinator. And I think sometimes the lines between perfectionism and procrastination is very blurry. So I'm telling myself, oh, I'm just trying to make sure this is perfect. But in actual fact, what I'm doing is actually I'm procrastinating. So I always say to myself, perfection, the quest for perfection is the enemy of progress. So now if you see my background, my screen, I've put the CEO Houston, Texas on a date. I have not finalized with the venue. I haven't. But me of before, I would say I need to make sure that I have locked in that venue before I put it out. But I'm like, no, if I put it out, I'm going to have to do it. So everything else is going just because now it's out in the universe. I cannot chicken out, which brings me to what I'm working on, which I hope that people can be a part of. Again, CEO, the whole CEO experience is to have conversations that matter, is to have difficult conversations. And for the first time, we're going to have almost a week-long series of activities. We're going to have 4 events that are virtual brunch events. And the first one will be called Working Women. We're specifically going to talk about diversity and inclusion. You know how that thing is now the buzz stuff. What does it mean for me, a person of African descent? Because sometimes when you get into these spaces and they're talking about DEIR, it doesn't concern me as a person of African descent, as a Muslim woman in hijab, as a person who has a funny last name. Like, you know, it's like, I'm just not seeing myself in the whole diversity dance that they're dancing. So we're going to have that conversation on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we're going to have a conversation for about wealth, wealthy women. We're going to talk about mistakes, money mistakes, and how we can fix it. Because I'm tired of us being broke. Every time they're talking, I'm like, oh, African diaspora are the most educated. So how much do we have? Because you can educate yourself all you want, but if you don't control the resources, then what? You know? Then after that, the next day, we're going to have We Men on Board. We-men on board. We're going to bring men to talk about very sensitive gender topics, including domestic violence, including, you know, a lot of men lost their jobs during this COVID thing, and that some people, that job loss took away their manhood as well. How is that playing out in relationships? How is that playing out with conflicts, more conflicts that we're seeing, not just in diaspora, but also on the continent? All of this will be online. Then on Thursday, my friend Ghaneeyyah doesn't know this, but she's going to be there yet. I already asked her, yes, that, oh, you're doing stuff online. She was like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you a message. But on Thursday, I want to bring a team of therapists where we put people in breakout rooms and people can really talk about some of those tough topics. So when you're registering for SheEO, would have asked you, what part of your life are you most concerned about? Relationships, work, social status, you know, we would have a couple of categories. So based on that category, it will determine what breakout room you're going to for an hour to talk to a therapist in a group. And hopefully people will then see therapy as something that is necessary, and they can then follow up with those therapists afterwards. That is the goal. So on Saturday, we're going to, oh my goodness, I called the congresswoman yesterday and I said to the congresswoman's assistant that I want her to be at SheEO Houston. I am pushing hard. I'm also pushing hard to get a very, very influential woman who I cannot announce yet, but I'm pushing and it's almost through. But what I think is most important about Saturday's event, October 22nd, is that the theme is pushing past pain. And so instead of having only one unmasked segment, we're going to have 3. We're going to have somebody who is like, you see her and you think she has a fabulous life. And I think she does have a fabulous life, but there is so much that she has had to walk through in terms of pain. You know, losing her family, members of her family, losing, you know, having a child with special needs, caring for aging parents, and all of these things that can really becloud our ability to engage in the society. But she's able to, you know, walk through this, and she's going to tell us how she's doing that. We're also going to have another person on the unmasked segment who was not supposed to be here in this realm. How you start your life, and I'm going to let you figure that out when you meet her. The unmasked segment as well as Saturday segment will not be live streamed. You have to be in the room like SheEO style. You must be in that room. No recording, nothing, because everything from 9 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. when we leave is going to be like soul gripping reflection. So that is what we're trying to do. This will be our 11th SheEO since 2017. And I'm looking forward to, you know, having everyone gather around in Houston. We've had so many Houstonians come to Maryland when we did SheEO in Maryland all these years. So now we're taking the party to them. So if you have any family members, make sure that they are watching out for SheEO tickets. Only 100 seats in the room, as always. Only 100 seats. It should not be more than 100. We're not having a conversation that is for everyone. It's for, you know, just the select few who are able to be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with me today. I will ask you one more question because I'm aware of the time. Just one more question, and that this question will be in the area of arts and culture. And I'm going to start with you, Ghaneeyyah. Matoke is a staple dish in all of these countries. Which one? A. Uganda. B. Sudan. C. Rwanda.
Rwanda?
No.
Matoke. Okay, Ghana.
The answer is Sudan. The answer is Sudan.
The answer is Sudan.
Yes.
And do you know that was the first one that came to my mind? I was like, Sudan and Ghana were sounding like kindred spirits. Let me choose Rwanda.
Oh my goodness. I am going to go to my brother.
Oh, good.
Wolof. The language spoken by over 5 million people in Senegal. The Gambia, and where else? So Wolof is a language spoken by over 5 million people in Senegal, the Gambia, and where else? A. Mauritania. B. Seychelles. C. Kenya.
Wolof.
Yes.
Is that Mauritania, Seychelles, and
Kenya?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'm gonna that's a tough one. Hold on, let me see what the people are saying. Hold on. Let me see what the people are saying. Let me see if somebody's helping me out here. I don't see any new comments. Someone said A, not C. So, what is A? What was the option? What was the option for A?
A is Mauritania.
Let's go with Mauritania.
And that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's is it because of the, is it Fulani, or what is the connection between Mauritania and Senegambia?
So I know that geographically they're close, but I didn't even know that they had this language in common.
Okay.
But I also think, and I make a guess, because if you think about Yoruba is spoken in Nigeria, Republic of Benin, and Togo, and I don't know how Ghana escaped, but somehow Ivory Coast and some parts of Sierra Leone. But I think those are countries who have shared trade routes in the past, as well. So I don't know.
Right. Okay. Hey, we got it. So thanks whoever helped me out. Thank you.
Okay, and the final question is for you, my sister Pamela. Which of these African women was a Mauritanian singer nicknamed the Diva of the Desert? Gosh, this is such a hard question. Which of these African women was a Mauritanian singer nicknamed the Diva of the Desert? A. Jean Marie. B. Dimi means Abba. C. Giselle Rabsahala. Sorry?
I have no idea. Could you repeat them again?
So, which of these African women was a Mauritanian singer nicknamed the Diva of the Desert? A. Jean Marie. B. Dimi means Abba. C. Giselle Rabsahala.
I'll just take a wild guess. A. No.
No, I like this person, Abdul Karim Ibrahim Sulaiman. DZD. I don't even know what he's choosing. But
let me guess.
Guess.
C. The something Abba.
There's a Dimi means Abba.
Yeah,
that's actually the correct answer. I have no idea.
I must not get zero in this.
Well, I have to say that you all won. Everybody has won. And I want to thank you all so much for being here today. I want to thank you so much. For me, this is an hour of learning, an hour of reminding ourselves how great our homeland is, and an hour of connecting and bringing one another together. And I want to thank you for being a part of that. As always, I hope that we can continue to collaborate and keep in touch and do more work together. I want to thank everyone on Facebook, on YouTube, and everyone who would watch later on. Thank you all so much. Let's keep impacting Africa and engaging Africa. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having